Just something I'd like to bring up on the day the Lions squad is announced. Why should I care? We won't get too into this. Why do the Irish players and media hold it up to such high prestige? I'm a big sports fan. Probably not a sport out there I don't have some level of interest in, but this Lions thing, I can't get my head around why it's so widely talked about in Ireland. I mean, I'll finish. It just feels like it's a British thing. Let's go back to the colonies and try and flex. All it does for Ireland is get our players injured. I love the pod. Good work. Yeah. Listen, you like what you like. It's fine. Of course, it has prestige because you're making like a representative side of 4 nations. So I mean, it's a serious accolade. The most damaging thing for me is that the Southern Hemisphere just ain't what it used to be. You know, like okay, New Zealand, South Africa, yeah, but like I don't know. England, Ireland have all won there now. It's not like, you know, we need to group together to go and beat them. That's when it was at its kind of woof for me.
Yeah. Could they not do a Southern Hemisphere Lions
and take on one of us? Yeah. Oh, like Lions v Lions.
Yeah.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Southern Hemisphere Tigers v British Lions.
I'd watch now.
But they didn't they have that? But it was like a charity game.
Yeah, but
I remember a one-off where David Humphreys was the out half for this hemisphere against the other hemisphere, but didn't get the same billing.
But that feels more Everesty. It's just like they've won in Australia.
Yeah,
I know Stuart Barnes. You know, you can listen to him this morning. He's laying out why the Lions aren't necessarily raging hot favourites, but it won't feel like a huge thing if they win. There's only kind of downside for Andy Farrell here if like this blows up. It's like it's not great. Anyway, listen, too much rugby.
I do love it though for what it's worth. Yeah, like the 05 Lions tour, ironically, was probably around favourite pitch, or certainly the kick-off point of my interest in rugby, because I was so impressionable at that age. I was like, oh, this is class. And the way Will Greenwood wouldn't lie to me about how good this is. in fairness, he was actually playing in that, scoring in that Lions. Who would have been on? Scott Quinnell.
Well, but certainly from 09 on, Quinnell and Greenwood. I mean, jeez.
But then 05 was like the production was brilliant. The O'Driscoll thing took off in a big way.
Yeah.
He did a really good book around that, actually, I remember reading. And then the 09 Lions there was still among the best sporting things that I've ever seen.
Yeah, 09's the one.
Like how many red cards do you think would have been in that second test if that was played now?
Listen, I think would Schalke have got one? Yeah, that's the one. I think you need one like that to get under your skin. Yeah. Because if I'd come along in 13,
because then the 13 one is a mirror of this Australian tour where you're like, this is kind of
they should win
to jeopardy. And then 17 had its own thing because trying to win in Eden Park, and
that was good.
That was a real tit for tat. And Sonny Bill Williams was he the first or second New Zealand player in history to get a red card? Like
second, John Kirwan, didn't he?
Yeah.
But the one in South Africa in 21 almost has killed the Lions for me.
That was chronic. Like, but that was COVID.
That's no one's fault. It's COVID. But like considering, I thought 09's so good that I thought 20 as it was meant to, or 21.
21.
Yeah, as it was meant to be, was going to be epic. And actually, the first test, that was where the first half went on for like 58 minutes. The South Africans were undercooked, so they walked to every line out. They walked to every scrum to give their forwards a chance to get going again. The referee and stuff, the no credit. It was awful.
It was also Warren Gatland fatigue, and I like Gatland as a person and respect him as a coach, but that was his 4th tour in a row, like 3rd as head coach. You're like, okay, like we've seen this. Like, give me something else. Like,
no, because it is show
let
business.
Gregor Townsend have a go at it and throw the ball around.
You're right. It is meant to be fantasy rugby. It's meant to be fun. Like you can't lose sight of that as well, as anachronistic as it is. It needs to have a bit of
like. There was a picture yesterday, the lads were being interviewed together, Jamie Roberts and Brian O'Driscoll, and it just takes you back. That was just a pairing made in heaven.
Yeah, that's what you want. Because actually, I'm a little bit, I know they seem to be the best pairing, the two Scottish centres maybe going to play together. But I'm like,
seen them play.
No, give me Bundy and Hugh Jones and let's see what happens. It's that kind of the whole point is to see unusual combinations.
Give me Michael Murphy and Conor McManus up top together.
There you go.
Well, we can move off it now, but we were chatting about it. I in many ways, I think when Sexton was having that tough time in 2017, his pairing with Owen Farrell revitalised him. Amazing. I'd love to chat to him about that, actually. I think you could see it in his body language that he was freed up. He was doing stuff he hadn't done before. He was playing with someone on the same wavelength as him. And not to say he didn't have that in Ireland, but it was just, they'll never play together again or have ever played before.
Well, this one for me needs to be a good one. I'm almost lost whatever '09 gave me was
Yeah.
almost fully sucked out of me by 21. So this has to be a good one for me.
That's a great point, though. You need one of them that gotten under your skin.
Actually, you fall in love with a sport as a kid. It's the Jesuits, you know. I mean, you show me the boy, I'll give you the man. It's
Yeah.
just there's something. We only have a limited capacity for things that we can get into, I think.
Yeah, and we like I will stay on topic, but we were just talking earlier about the 04 and the 06 international rules games where you read out, David Clifford says thumbs up to the international rules. I'm sure some people listening were like, who cares?
Yeah.
But we care because those games
I'm
get under our skin.
I'm never having the whole, who cares about the international rules anyway. If you do it right, people cared about it at one point.
Same with the Lions.
You'll make them care about it again. You just have to do it correctly.
With fights, do you mean?
No, like...
All I care about is the fights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're not the target audience. Then.
Sorry. That's what got me.
You hate to see it.
No, yeah.
Tut.
Yeah. We don't want to be talking about this.
Sorry, forgive me. What was the name of the Australian commentator? Did we remember?
He was brilliant.
Eddie.
Put Marty Morrissey to shame.
That second test where it was all the unsavory stuff was happening before the ball was thrown in, and Marty Morris was like, "Oh, you hate to see that." And
Let's finish. We'll finish bits and bobs with this. It's one of my favorite clips.
But it's like you hate to see this game. And before Marty's even finished the sentence, it's like, oh, they get stuck in. They're setting the tone.
It's so
They're
good.
setting the tone.
We'll stick it on the end of this if you haven't heard it. It's amazing because Marty's doing the whole like. And the team today is, your man's amazing. We said we were going to get him on the show.
Yeah, Colin was saying that earlier.
Well, let's get him if it's happening in October.